Guys, just because it's summertime and it is hot outside does not mean that you should forget about going out on dates. Okay? Now, if you're anything like me, I don't like the heat. All right, I prefer cool temperatures any day over the heat. Well, I live in the South, so that doesn't work out too often. But when it gets hot outside and I'm gonna go out on a date, I like to change up my fragrances. All right, I like to wear something with a little bit more oomph. Yeah. So I got 10 date night summer fragrances. You guys don't want to miss this one. Let's talk about it. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. This is your fashion and fragrance channel. So if you rock with your boy, I'm gonna have you smelling good and looking good. That's the catch right there. So if you're into that kind of content, man, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell icon as well, so that way anytime I upload a new video on YouTube, you'll get notified. So guys, on today's video, I want to jump into some fragrances that I think are great for summer date nights. All right. Generally speaking, of course, a date night, a little bit more of an intimate setting in the evening time, a little bit cooler temperatures in most cases than what you will see in like the middle of the day. So with that being said, these fragrances are a little bit unique. You're not going to see these like on people's summer niche fragrance list because they're not the typical summer fragrances that people would normally recommend. These fragrances do have a certain aspect of them that make them great for the summertime, but they have a little bit more of maybe, like I said, a little bit of character, a little bit of body, a little bit of oomph, a little bit of depth. You're gonna see those fragrances that have a little bit of smoke in the background, a little bit more sweetness. And to me, that kind of makes for a good date night summer fragrance. So that's what we're getting into today. I have 10 that I want to show you. So I'm gonna run the intro, and when we come back, 10 amazing summer date night fragrances. If you want to see what's on the list, you know how we rock. Keep it locked. There we go. We rhyme again. Right here. Let's get it.
The Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's jump right into this list, man. First of all, shout out to Twisted Lily, because this first fragrance that I want to talk to you guys about, they actually sent me this fragrance, and in all sincerity, I love this fragrance. This is really what inspired this list, because when I smelled it, I'm like, this fragrance is going to be perfect for like a date night in the summertime. And it kind of led me down that path. Don't forget, guys, head over to Twisted Lily. I'm always going to link it down below where you can actually get 10% discount if you decide to shop at Twisted Lily, man. But I think you guys will want to check this first fragrance out for sure. All the fragrances that I want to talk about today, if I'm not mistaken, are available on Twisted Lily's website. So I will make sure I link it down below. Check out Twisted Lily. Now, the fragrance. Guys, this is a new one from the house of Bohemian London, and they've been doing some really good fragrances here as of late. I have several fragrances in the collection, and all of them are really, really well done. This fragrance, the newest one, is called Bohemian Infusion. Bohemian Infusion. And like I said, this fragrance inspired this list. I'm wearing it right now because it made me think about what would be the perfect scenario to wear a fragrance like this, and it's a summer date night. A lot of the fragrances I'm going to talk about today, guys, you'll see, they open up with the typical summer fragrance DNA. The opening of this, you get some petitgrain, you get some black currant, you get some grapefruit. So again, that's that, kind of DNA that you normally would see or find in a lot of fragrances that guys rock in the summertime. But when it starts to transition, you start to get this herbal green smokiness. There's myrtle and artemisia. That's where that's coming from. But you also get some spices in here as well. Cinnamon, cardamom, and then when it dries down, man, a little bit of a, not overly ambery, but a slight ambery nuance with some patchouli. But it does not go too dark where you couldn't wear this in a summer date night. So again, this fragrance is perfect for going out on a date night, especially if you're like somewhere and you're out maybe sitting outside dining in the evening time. It's about maybe 75 degrees or so. This is going to be perfect, man. This is perfect for that type temperature. 75, 80 degree temperatures, date night. Guys, this stuff smells phenomenal, and I'm not trying to hold you on that. This stuff is good, man. Seriously, I love this. This is really good, guys. You got to check this one out. Of the ones I've smelled from Thameen London, this is my favorite so far. And they have some good ones. One that kind of resembles oud wood from Tom Ford. I think it's called carved oud. But they have some good ones in their portfolio. But this to me so far is my favorite one. And this is their newest release. And again, this is called Bohemian Infusion. You guys need to check this one out. All right, guys. Now the next fragrance up on the list that fits the date night summer fragrance profile perfectly is this one from Homme Parfumery. And this one is called Mango Skin. Mango Skin. Now, I will tell you guys, you got to have a sweet tooth for this one because this thing is sweet. All right. But again, I told you guys sweet fragrances work in a date night scenario. All right. So this is, of course, as the name indicates, you get a lot of mango. Mango is one of obviously the main notes in this composition, but you also get, it's a very floral heart. All right. So it's a combination of a lotus flower and jasmine. All right. So the heart gets very floral. But it works well with the mango. It kind of tones that mango down because the mango is very prominent in this fragrance. And on the dry down, sweet vanilla. Sweet vanilla, slight hint of patchouli. But once again, like I said with the initial fragrance, it does not go too sweet. It doesn't lean too sweet or too feminine for a guy where you could not wear this on a date night and it would work perfectly. Trust me on that. So the next fragrance, obviously, that I think is great for a date night fragrance comes from the House of Parfumery, and this one is called Mango Skin. Get your nose on that one. All right, guys, this next fragrance is one that I would say from the House of Maison Francis Kurkdjian is one of their most underrated fragrances, and this one is called Amiris Homme. Amiris Homme. And those of you that have smelled this fragrance before will probably agree with me that it is simply just a phenomenal scent. It is so unique in the way that it's kind of structured, in the way that it's composed. In the opening, you're going to get that mandarin orange. So the mandarin orange opening, and there's some iris in here that's really going to be, again, very reminiscent of a great typical summer fragrance. But as this thing dries down, it gets very complex, slightly gourmand, but again, it still works in a summer date night scenario, all right? In the dry down, some coconut, slightly tropical vibe, like I say all the time with coconut. You get some milk chocolate, you get some tonka bean in here as well. So again, a little bit of coffee. It goes slightly gourmand, but it's balanced very well with the citrus and the, kind of powdery iris in the opening of the fragrance. This stuff is dynamite for a date night. Trust me on this. Those that have smelled this know exactly what I'm talking about. Add this one to your collection, man. From the House of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This is called Amiris Homme. All right, guys, this next fragrance comes from the brand of Amouage, from one of their latest collections as well. I actually did a review of this fragrance. I'll make sure I link it down below, but this one is called Search. Search. Outside of the fact that this bottle is absolutely gorgeous, look at that. The fragrance is really well done and creative as well. And again, another one that is going to be great for a summer date night. The opening, very, very reminiscent of summer, all right? Lemon, lime, mandarin orange. You actually have frankincense in here, but this one, the variety that they use here gives off a piney, kind of lemony type nuance. So it kind of helps support that opening. But when it starts to dry down, guys, things get very smoky and earthy, all right? Some cade oil in here and vetiver and gaiac wood really grounds this fragrance. Again, gives it this kind of masculine, smoky feel. All right, and it pairs really well with that very citrusy lemon opening with this fragrance. Again, making it, in my opinion, a great date night fragrance. On a date night, guys, a fragrance like this that gives that kind of masculine vibe as it dries down with a little bit of smokiness to support the citrus notes, perfect for a date night. So check this one out as well from Amouage. This one is called Search. All right, guys, the next fragrance up that I would recommend for a great date night summer fragrance is a fragrance from the brand of Roger Parfums. Now, this fragrance has moved in and out of my top 10 fragrances for life because it's that good. And it just so happens that it's going to work great on a date night in the summertime. And this one is none other than Burlington 1819. Burlington 1819. What a phenomenal fragrance, first and foremost. And in Rosie Dove fashion, there's a lot of notes in this fragrance. But the reason why I say it's great for a date night in the summertime is because of it kind of has a similar structure as a lot of the other fragrances I've talked about. It opens up with very fresh, very vibrant, very summer-like fragrance notes. Grapefruit, lime, there's some mint in here as well to really give it that really kind of invigorating summer kind of feel to it. But when it dries down, man, you really get some notes in here that really make it masculine and sexy in my humble opinion. There's an ambery base here, labdanum, vanilla, benzoin. But you also get a little bit of spice here, some cinnamon, and of course that oak moss really grounds it out and really makes this a great sexy date night summer fragrance in my humble opinion. Again, you guys know, if you've been following me for any amount of time, how much I love this fragrance. It's perfect for a date night. If you're going somewhere and you're kind of dressed up, kind of business casual, required to get in a nice, nice steakhouse or something like that, put this on, guys. From the house of Rosie Parfums, again, this is Burlington 1819. All right, this next fragrance is a fragrance that I've talked about glowingly on the channel before as well, from the brand of Fragrance Du Bois. This is Centaur Complete. Centaur Complete. Man, when I read the note breakdown of this fragrance initially, I knew it's one I had to add to the collection. Oh my God. Coconut and sandalwood. Coconut and sandalwood. Now, the coconut is supported by a fresh, slightly tangy note of lemon in the opening of the fragrance. But when it dries down, man, it's all about that sandalwood. All about the sandalwood. And again, this is very sexy, man. Very sexy, very seductive fragrance. Again, this one is one that is not a huge projector, but again, that's great for a date night because, as I said before, date nights, you want to kind of lure them in a little bit, make them want to come in a little bit closer to get a whiff of what you have on. All right. So again, not much, to really break down with this one, but no, sandalwood and coconut. Perfect. Check this one out from the brand of Fragrance Du Bois. This is Centaur Complete. All right, guys. Now, the next fragrance up on the list comes from the brand of Atelier des Ors, and this one is called Riviera Drive. Riviera Drive. This one first caught my attention because a lot of people said that it smelled like Creed Vintage. 10, 20% maybe. So that's kind of there, but this fragrance is definitely a fragrance on its own, all right? Its own fragrance. It opens up, of course, there's a citrusy aspect to this, as is the case with most of these fragrances that I'm talking about today. Great for the summertime, but even better, is perfect for a summer date night, all right? There's some rosemary in here that gives a slightly, in my opinion, kind of a minty nuance to this fragrance as well. And when it dries down, you're gonna get some cedarwood, musk, and patchouli. Again, I'm telling you now, guys, if you haven't put your nose on this one, you definitely want to experience this, especially if you kind of like those fragrances that kind of linger around the vintage kind of DNA. This is one that people don't talk about as much. That's really, really good. From the brand of Atelier des Ors, perfect for a summer date night. This is called Riviera Drive. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on the list is one that probably, if I would put in these in order, would definitely be in the top 2 or 3 for a summer date night. This stuff is phenomenal, man. It is from the brand of BDK Parfums, and this is Grise Charnel. Grise Charnel. This is an amazing fragrance that I would primarily say is composed of fig and sandalwood. Both of those, as I said, you guys know, fig is a note that kind of gives, to me, the best way I describe it is a creamy kind of nuance as well. It's fruity, but it has a creamy, kind of sultry nature to it, and that pairs perfectly with the sandalwood in this fragrance. It's a little bit sweet as well. There's some tonka bean in here as well, but guys, I'm telling you, date night appropriate, hands down. It kind of hints at fragrances like Centaur 33, but not like a clone of that, but it's kind of similar because you get a lot of sandalwood in this fragrance. And again, sandalwood, very soft, woody note, slightly creamy, and you get all of those facets in this fragrance with the fig. So again, perfect for a summer date night. From the brand of BDK Parfums, this is none other than Grise Charnel. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on the list, honestly, I know it's almost in the number 1 spot in the order that I did these. although I didn't put these in order, but this would probably be number one, coincidentally. From the brand of Mancera, this is Cedrat Boisé Intense. Cedrat Boisé Intense. I love the original Cedrat Boisé, and I love the Cedrat Boisé Intense version as well. All of the same things that you like from the original, all right? You have the citrus aspect of it there. You have the sandalwood, the leather, all the things that made Cedrat Boisé what it was, but they added a little bit of Cambodian oud, and perfect. Makes it perfect for a date night out. Man, you get outside, if you got a little wind going and the wind catches this, it's game time, man. So definitely check this one out, guys. Perfect for a date night in the summertime. If you have it, trust your boy. Put it on if you're going out on a date. Thank me later. From the brand of Mancera, this is Cedrat Boisé Intense. All right, guys, and last but not least, a fragrance that is similarly structured to Amira's Homme, a fragrance that I talked about earlier. This one is from the brand of Xerjoff, and this is P33. P33. What you get with this one, guys, in the opening, you get some apple, of course, and you're gonna get kind of this bergamot citrusy nuance as well to go with the apple. Now, what pairs well with apple most of the time in fragrance is cinnamon, right? So you have apples, you have cinnamon, you have iris, just like I talked about with Amira's Homme, so it gets slightly powdery when it starts to dry down, and a little bit of a musky, ambery base to this fragrance. Again, perfect composition for a summer date night. You know, it's light enough and has enough of those citrusy nuances that we all love in a lot of our summer fragrances. But again, the base, the amber, all right, the cinnamon, you know, the spices of the cinnamon. These things really create this body for these fragrances that I think give it some lasting power, and again, makes it a little bit more sexy if you're talking about an intimate date night setting. And that's why these fragrances made the list. And again, this one is really great. A lot of people don't talk about this one, but in my humble opinion, it's really, really good, especially for a summer date night. From the brand of Xerjoff, this is simply called P33. But that is it, guys. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed the video today. As always, I sincerely appreciate you guys' support, your time, and your attention to these videos. I know you don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. And don't forget to make sure you take a few moments out to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you are sharing these videos out to some other folks out there that you think could use this information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren. I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side.